Hello, and welcome to Disney Magic and Beyond.
Say what?
Featuring, presented by, from a couple of park hoppers.
That's us. That's us. Disney Magic and Beyond. What's that, you're asking yourselves? Like Danny said, welcome to the Disney Magic and Beyond podcast, presented by a couple of park hoppers. Yours truly. My name is Bill.
And my name is Danny.
And we are so happy that you guys are here for episode 140 this week of our podcast, formerly known as a couple of park hoppers podcast, but we have recently changed the name of the podcast, not the brand, the podcast, to Disney Magic and Beyond. And today we're going to dive into the Beyond.
We are going to dive into the Beyond. Now, whether it's Disney or Beyond, the past couple of years we've always contemplated changing our name to something that fit a little bit better, and as soon as people heard it, they knew exactly what they were getting.
Right.
Because the reality is, a couple of park hoppers, Bill and Danny.
That's
People
us.
probably don't search for Bill and Danny to get their Disney news.
Or
they might.
a
But
couple of park hoppers, for that matter.
Exactly. So now, Disney Magic and Beyond, presented by a couple of park hoppers.
Hopefully presented by somebody else soon.
Ooh.
Ka-ching, ka-ching.
I wonder who.
It could be you. You never know.
Who knows?
Looking at you, Uber Eats.
Uber Eats.
I don't know, we use you a lot.
Duolingo?
Duolingo, yeah, sure. What else?
Amex?
Petco?
Chase?
Ooh, yeah, Chase. Yeah, whoever wants to better help, I hear that all the time on all these podcasts. Just reach out to us. A couple of park hoppers at gmail.com.
Yeah. Roosevelt's.
Ooh, Roosevelt's. I'm not wearing one right now, but I have plenty.
Funko? Loungefly?
Ooh, Funko. Loungefly, too.
We could go on and on.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead.
Sponsors? Possibly you.
Let's talk about Discovery Cove.
Welcome home, everybody.
All right. So first off, I just want to mention that we were not hosted by Discovery Cove. We went to Discovery Cove with our credit cards, our debit cards, our bank accounts, and said,
All the monies.
Hello, wonderful park. Can we please play in here? And we purchased our time to go to Discovery Cove. So someday we hope to get hosted and bring you guys a full vlog. But this was more for us, more than it was.
It was more of a
you
date
guys.
day than anything.
And what date was that?
What date was that? What are you talking about, Danny? What date was that?
It was our 7-year anniversary.
It was December 1st, almost 2 months ago.
So we wanted to do something a little bit different for that, and Discovery Cove seemed like the perfect thing to do that was really fun and special. Now, first off, for those listening who are like, what are they talking about? Discovery Cove.
Yeah.
What is there?
Well,
is it like Wonkaville?
Yes.
Wonkaville?
Kind of.
The Wonkaville.
It's a magical village.
Is it a theme park?
Full of things you can swim in.
Is it like a candy factory?
Sure.
How about you tell the people what it really is?
Well, it's funny that you ask. I have the description right in front of me here. Discovery Cove is an all-inclusive day resort where you and your family can enjoy a one-of-a-kind opportunity to swim with dolphins, snorkel with thousands of tropical fish and rays, hand-feed exotic birds, and unwind on pristine beaches. With no lines throughout the park, you can plan your adventure at your own pace.
Now, just to be clear, there are 3 different ways you can visit Discovery Cove, which is this all-inclusive resort. First off, you can buy a day resort package. This starts at $189, and this is for anybody who wants to go in and like just to experience this all-inclusive resort. Yes, per person. Second, you can get a day resort plus a dolphin swim, and that starts at $224. And lastly, if you're 2 and under, you can get in for free. Probably not by yourself, but with an adult.
Just a bunch of infants come crawling up to the gate. We
God.
want to go in.
Adorable and terrifying.
Right.
But just to be clear, all of those prices do start there. They can fluctuate. So if you come during a busy time, you may be paying more. So make sure you're doing your research. There's also different packages you can combine it with, whether it's tickets to SeaWorld, tickets to Aquatica, tickets to Busch Gardens, hotels. There's all sorts of stuff that you can combine when you are looking for tickets. But you got to go look because we might not know everything that might be available to you. And there might be something new when you look. So go check it out. Check it out right now while you're listening to this episode.
And to all you fantastic park hoppers out there, there are also Florida resident discounts available for those of you who are in the Orlando area or just in Florida in general. There are Florida resident tickets available where you get a percentage off of the resort packages. So
also,
check it out.
I do think this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Please buy your tickets ahead of time.
Yes.
Do not wait until you're here on vacation. Days sell out, prices fluctuate. If you want to go, make sure you are planning ahead.
And generally, there are no passes available most days in person anyway. So you're better off booking your day because they do sell out.
Yes.
They want to make sure that the place isn't crazy busy. Do you have the best time?
Yes.
And you don't really wait for anything. And so they don't oversell it because of the price point. They don't have to oversell it. So get your tickets in advance. They do sell out, especially on busy days.
Now, with that ticket, whether it is for a day resort package or a day resort plus a dolphin swim, what kind of amenities are included in that bill?
Well, funny, I've got the list right in front of me right here. You can snorkel in the Grand Reef. You can hand feed exotic birds in the Explorer's Aviary. You can meet up-close animal encounters, unlimited food, beverages, and select beers and wines, complimentary snackies throughout the day, lockers for unlimited use throughout the day. You don't have to pay for those, which is great. Showers and changing facilities, fresh towels as you need them, animal-safe sunscreen, which smells really good, by the way.
It does.
Snorkeling gear with prescription goggles available on request, wetsuits and vests, which are required in some parts of the park, and then lounge chairs and hammocks throughout the resort.
And I did want to add that along with the showers, that also has shampoo, conditioner, body wash.
That was clutch.
I can't remember exactly what else. I think there might have
Lotion,
been some
maybe?
like lotion. I think there were like a couple other things that you might need. Maybe a hair dryer. I'm not quite sure.
I don't recall.
I wouldn't plan for that.
I don't
but
need it.
if it's there. By the time we were done, I was like, I'm just ready to go home.
Yeah.
We've been here all day and it's been wonderful.
Exactly.
Now I'm clean. Time to go.
There we go.
But that is what is included, like baseline when you enter the park. All of that is included, and you don't have to worry about anything else. Now there are additional add-ons that you can get.
We'll get to those in a little bit.
We'll go through those later. But one thing I will tell you is we only got one add-on, and we'll tell you why here in a little bit. But there are so many options. You can make it exactly what you want it to be.
Now, Discovery Cove is not the theme park that you think it might be. It is. There's no roller coasters. There's no dark rides. There's none of that kind of stuff. It's really just an oasis where you get to relax. And there's so many things to do that aren't quote-unquote attractions that you would see at a normal theme park. And then we're going to kind of touch on those real quick just so you know that what your day at Discovery Cove does entail and the things that you can do. The first is a wind-away river, which is basically like a lazy river. And you can ride through Discovery Cove's tropical lazy river with crystal clear water, and then wind past sandy beaches through the aviary, which was super cool, through a dense rainforest, beneath the rocky terrain of cascading waterfalls, and through an underwater cave.
Next is Serenity Bay. So Serenity Bay is basically a bay. The water's not moving around, so you kind of chill there. It's 85 degrees, which sounds kind of warm, but it's actually very, very comfortable.
The water temperature is deceiving because 72 degrees, which was the degrees or the temperature that we swam with manatees not too long ago, that water felt like it was freezing cold.
Right.
Because your body temperature is in the high 90s. So when you're getting into 85-degree water, it feels nice. 72-degree water feels like you're jumping into an ice bath.
A bit of a shock.
So, yeah, the Serenity Bay water was really nice, and then the scenic palms and the tropical atmosphere of the beachfront paradise.
Now, this is just a little note about Serenity Bay. Each morning, you can catch a glimpse of the flamboyants, which is a flock of flamingos, and that's when they're going from their journey from the Grand Reef across their white sand beaches in front of Dolphin Lagoon to the courtyard near Laguna Grill. So you need to be ready for that. I was actually changing.
Yeah, I was going to say,
day.
did you ever catch any of that?
I didn't. It's
Because
just
I
one.
saw it and it was very cool.
So just a note, Serenity Bay on their website, they have this note under Serenity Bay. So keep that in mind.
Yep.
If you want to catch the flamboyance of flamingos parading by.
A ridiculous name for a flock.
Hey, that's science.
Flamboyance.
So next is the freshwater oasis experiences. So this is a whole area of Discovery Cove where you're more kind of like in wading depth of water. And you get to do two things in this rainforest canopy. Absolutely sparkling water. Two things that you don't get in any other area of the park. The first is you can come face to face with playful otters and colorful fish with viewing above and below the water. So what that means is there's going to be glass between you and the otter enclosure.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the fish underneath the water, but the otters can literally come right up to the glass. So it almost feels like you're in the water with them.
For those of you watching on YouTube. Face to face.
Face to face, literally face to face. And they're so cute. And it's kind of cool to feel like you're right there with them. But you can also spot curious marmosets exploring their treetop and bamboo bridges on their island playgrounds. And then what do we've got next?
We have the Explorers Aviary, which was one of my favorite parts. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but hundreds of colorful birds soar above you and around you, which sounds kind of scary, but it's awesome. And feathered friends will meet you and they will nibble fruit from your hand. How cool is that?
And then lastly, the Grand Reef. You can swim and snorkel through a stunning coral reef habitat with thousands of tropical fish, rays of all sizes, and views of reef sharks.
Awesome.
So those are the things that are included with your admission to Discovery Cove already, right off the bat.
Yep.
So we are going to talk about what our day was like when we went to Discovery Cove.
Okay.
So I think we should rewind. Can you give me a rewind sound? That's better than I would do.
Rewind, wind, wind. It's like Hamilton.
Yes.
Rewind, wind, wind.
Wait, a little bit more rewinding. Okay, now we're back on December 1st. So, welcome to December 1st, the morning we went to Discovery Cove. So, first off, right off the bat, one thing that we did opt in to purchase ahead of time, you could go online, it was actually cheaper if you purchased it ahead of time, was a drink package. So normally what comes...
But wait, Danny, I thought the drinks were included.
So there are some beers and wines that are included. However, the way that we felt was we might not want to drink wine all day or drink beer all day.
I don't drink wine at all.
I mean, I just don't know if I could make it throughout the entire day. So I want to say for us it was about $40 or $45 each.
$40 to upgrade our drink package at the time.
So it is normally $50 if
you
do it that day. So if you do it ahead of time, you do save some money. And what we did for each person, so we paid $40 each for the premium drink package, and that gave us a full selection of unlimited alcoholic beverages throughout our day, whether it was a mixed drink, frozen cocktails, wine, beer, or different signature drinks that they had.
Some of those drinks were awesome.
Yeah. So first off, right off the bat, we're taking you to that morning. We were calling an Uber or a Lyft because you bet that if we were going to spend money for this extra drink package,
big money,
we were going to enjoy ourselves and make the most of that additional
to
cost.
partake in some libations, if you will.
So early in the morning, early for me, I'm not a morning person, we called that Uber and said, come and get us, take us down the road. It's time for Discovery Cove.
Nice.
So when we arrived at Discovery Cove, we didn't arrive right when they opened. We were hoping to kind of miss like the
line,
the big rush for everybody to get there. And the first thing when you walk in is you walk into this beautiful
It's almost like
building.
like a lobby almost.
Yeah, like this gorgeous lobby. Art everywhere with like, the animals that are in Discovery Cove are featured in all of the art. And immediately you've got people everywhere who sweep you away to get your day started. So we were brought right over to the front desk, one of the front desks. We gave them all of our information. And at that point, they let us know, okay, you had signed up for the dolphin swim package.
Sure did.
Which was the one that we had purchased. And you upgraded to a premium drink package. So we were given 2 things. We were each given a map to put onto a lanyard, as well as a little card that we were able to scan. Bartenders were able to see exactly what we purchased. And also it said dolphin swim package on there and gave us some information.
It was kind of like a mini itinerary card almost, but the bartender had to also check that, so we didn't have to carry our ID and stuff around all day long.
Right. So what they actually did was after they checked our IDs, which were a little over 21, they took our photo, and my understanding is that if they needed to reference that for any reason, they would be able to.
Right.
So we're both over 21. There's no funny
Barely.
business. Barely. So they got us all taken care of and immediately told us, okay, at this time, go and enjoy yourselves. And then what happened after that?
What did happen after that? We walked all the way out to Discovery Cove. We found our way. We looked at our map. We kind of finagled the paths and made our way out to the Discovery Cove area just to go check out what the lay of the land looked like and to see what we wanted to do first and maybe grab a bite to eat, which is exactly what we did right away.
Yeah. And one thing that I will tell you is we are so used to being at theme parks and being like, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this, or bringing people with us and being like, okay, if we're going to do this, 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 and this, first we need to do this, 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 and this. So I will say that walking in and being like, what do we do now?
It was
it's
really
a little foreign to us.
Yeah, kind of piggybacking on what you're saying there. It was really nice the fact that it was like an oasis and it wasn't a theme park, because when you're in a theme park, you feel like you need to get everything done. Whereas here at the resort, it was just like, we're going to just have a day and we're going to take our time and we'll get to what we get to, but there's no like attractions that you needed to hit before the end of the day type of deal. It was nice.
Right. Well, I totally agree with that. Once we kind of realized, okay, we kind of have time to do exactly what we wanted to do. The first thing we did as we came up on the main area of Discovery Cove after we walked the path from the front desk is we quickly found out that the bars do not open until a little bit later.
Yeah.
It's not, my understanding is it's not for any reason other than that's just the time they open.
I'm not going to lie. I was hoping to have a mimosa with breakfast. Like, an all-inclusive resort, I really thought that would be a thing that we could do. And I was a little disappointed that we couldn't, but I totally understand why we couldn't.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad that the first thing we did was not just run directly to the bar, but got food.
Well, yeah.
And honestly, the first thing, stopping at the front of the park and before we changed, before we put anything away, and just sitting down and walking into the restaurant and just pointing to things and being like, let's try that, let's try that, let's try that. No paying at the register because everything's already paid for.
Now, the food wasn't buffet style. It was more like get whatever you want, but they served you. So it's kind of like cafeteria style, essentially, where you'd go up and for breakfast there was like pancakes and waffles and scrambled eggs and sausage and bacon and potatoes, and I don't remember what else there was. And then there was other like non-hot options too. There was like cereal and fruit and yogurt.
French toast sticks,
French
I think
toast,
they had.
Yep, exactly.
They had different eggs and like chicken and waffles and cereal, yogurt, like something for everybody.
Yeah.
So we went and we sat outside. It was still kind of chilly because it was a little bit earlier in the day. and we ate our breakfast. And after that, we got to hang out and relax. We knew we had quite a bit of time before our dolphin swim. And after we did that, we went and we got our wetsuits. So I personally would like to know from you what your experience was, going and getting a wetsuit. Because, I got to wear a wetsuit at work all the time. So I love being in a wetsuit all the time.
That was genuinely the first time I've ever put a wetsuit on. And it was interesting. Although,
first time you put on a shorty wetsuit.
Yeah, the shorty wetsuit. That's a lie, because when we went to go swim with manatees, I also had a wetsuit on. That was the first time that I put a wetsuit on, but we'll get to that later.
I will say that a long wetsuit where you have your long sleeves, and all the way down to your ankles, from your wrist to your ankles, and thicker, definitely feels different than a shorty wetsuit, which goes above your knees, and then it's a short sleeve wetsuit, and usually they're thinner. But yeah, what did you think about getting to pick and put on a wetsuit right off the bat to exist in the world?
I mean, we were doing this. I was going to go all in, so I wasn't going to not wear the wetsuit for this experience. And so I put it on. It was tight, but they're supposed to be tight.
Wetsuits are tight.
They're not supposed to be baggy. I didn't mind it. It actually made the colder or the cooler water kind of eased into it a little bit better, rather than it just hitting your direct skin. So that was kind of nice. But after a while, I got used to it. Like I said, I'm not used to wearing wetsuits. I've only worn a wetsuit twice in my entire life. So I don't really know what what else you want me to say about how I feel about wearing a wetsuit.
I mean, I think I feel like that's more common than not to not experience wearing a wetsuit than somebody like me who's like, yes, it felt so good to get back into a wetsuit again. I feel like that's less common. But we were able to get our wetsuits. You could either choose from long sleeves, a vest, or a shorty wetsuit. We both went with shorty wetsuits, and we had to go and find the lockers that were available to us.
Correct.
So one thing that we realized right off the bat, and I think it's totally a cool thing to have available, is you can actually purchase lockers that are closer to everything.
Oh, yeah.
So the general lockers are a little bit further away.
The lockers are free, but you got to walk.
Right. You have to walk. But overall, it's not that far of a walk. So we walked over there. We split up. We got into our wetsuits. And at that point, one thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you're kind of ready to experience anything. So we had actually purchased off of Amazon some phone waterproof cases. I decided to keep mine in the locker because your phone was newer, and I thought that was going to be cooler to have better photos.
Sure, yeah.
And then we threw everything in our lockers, and then we kind of went, okay, well, what do we do now? The first thing that we ended up doing right off the bat before our dolphin swim, because we knew it was going to be soon, was we went and found that lazy river. And we went into the lazy river. We waded through Serenity Bay, which was 85 degrees, as we told y'all. And then we decided, you know what? This is the perfect time to just kind of see what everything looks like. What was your thoughts on the lazy river?
I have some thoughts on the lazy river. Did you enjoy it?
So I will say that I enjoyed the lazy river.
Because I did too.
I will say that it didn't have quite as strong of a current.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I felt like I was working in the lazy river.
Yes, it was not lazy.
It was not.
There was not a lot of current, because normally when you're in a lazy river, you just hop on the tube and it just pushes you along all the way around until you feel like getting out. Here at Discovery Cove, and it could have just been that day, I don't know, but it felt like the water was never really moving at all. And there was points.
It was moving a little bit.
It felt like it was barely moving at all.
It was lazy. The water itself was lazy.
You had to be really lazy to get all the way around. But there was points where it felt like I wasn't moving at all. So in order to start moving, I naturally started swimming. And there were points where the water was so deep I couldn't even touch the bottom.
Right.
So it was like my arms were getting a workout that day trying to move us along the lazy river that day. So I loved the lazy rivers. I love lazy rivers anywhere. But this one, the only real critique I would say would be just turn the current up a little bit. You know, turn that knob, make the waves go a little bit faster, because it would be much more enjoyable that way.
The reality of like existing someplace where they are having like fresh water that you can swim through and stuff is that they could have been doing a water change. We could have just gone through during a time where it felt like that. The other thing is we were watching the clock because we knew our dolphin swim was coming up.
It was.
Because of that, what was it called? It's not just the lazy river. Wind Away River.
Yes.
Felt much longer.
Yeah. To get back to where we needed to go.
Well, as we started getting closer to our dolphin swim time, I started to mildly panic because I was like, what kind of Wind Away River is this? Is it miles long?
Right.
Are we ever going to find
it's
our
the
way
Nile
out?
River.
Yes. And so, we got to go through there. I wish we had more time to go back and float that river, but there was so much to be able to see we didn't get back there.
Right.
So eventually we made our way out of Wind Away River.
We did it.
We did it. So, we were feeling good. We had breakfast. Everything was digested. We had adjusted to being in the water, and we got to make our way over for our dolphin swim. So when we went over for our dolphin swim with our lanyards, it did tell us where to go and at what time.
Right.
So one thing that I do want to mention, and Bill and I had discussed this, is that it did seem like it was a little bit hard to find our way around there.
There was not a ton of signage at Discovery Cove, and the map that they hooked on our lanyards was somewhat helpful, but there wasn't a lot of signs or staff there to kind of like point you in the right direction. So we kind of felt on our own at points trying to navigate this place we had never been to. So that's really the only kind of critique that I would have about that is I wish there was more staff pointing you in the right direction, that you could ask for directions, or just more signage more often along the paths, because they do get confusing in certain parts of the resort.
Yeah, it is a very large all-inclusive resort. So, if you don't know where you're going, you can easily wander into something that you weren't trying to find, which luckily everything's included for the most part. So
and just an example of what Danny's kind of talking about is that on our map, I don't remember the name of the hut or whatever we had to go to for the dolphin swim, but it was like go to hut B to meet for your dolphin swim. And we went to hut B, and it was a literal hut, and there was a sign in there that was like dolphin swim, but there was no one there. There was no one there.
Right.
But then we slowly discovered that you had to walk through and down the path through this windy, bushy area, and then there was like people gathered there for the dolphin swim. So I wish it was like a little bit easier to be like dolphin swim straight ahead or something like that on the sign rather than just dolphin swim, because I thought we were in the wrong place.
And just to play devil's advocate, I also think that we're so used to everything being flashy and in our face and like super obvious. So this had a much different feel. But I will say we did make our way to our dolphin swim with plenty of time.
We did.
What they did was they checked us in, checked our lanyards because it said our names. It said what time our dolphin swim was. And they had us sit down. And as soon as our entire group of everybody who was going to be meeting dolphins at that time was sitting down, they had a group of trainers come over, and they gave like a little bit of a introduction talk, like, "Hey, this is the way this is gonna go. You're gonna meet dolphins. They're amazing mammals. They're super strong. Here are some facts about them. And now watch this video." And they played a little video so that we could learn about Discovery Cove.
Yeah.
And also that like
cool stuff.
Us spending money at Discovery Cove also help to, fund research for animals in the wild. There's so much money that goes not just to SeaWorld, but also goes to, protect and fund research all over the world. So it's kind of cool that you get to do fun things, and part of it goes to good causes all over the world.
Correct.
Which is necessary.
Yeah.
And it's an awesome thing to do. Well, after we watched that video, what they did was they split us up into groups.
3 groups.
And each trainer said, you, Group A, come with me. Trainer 2 said, Group B, come with me. And Trainer 3 said, Group C, come with me. And so we followed our trainer to the beach that they were going to be doing that specific training session at. So we weren't with everybody who was in that room. They had split us up, like we said, into those smaller groups. And the groups were, what was it, maybe 6 people?
Yeah, I think there might have been a little bit more than that in ours. There was a German
7.
family, there was a French family, and there was a group of 3 with us as well.
It was, I think it was those 2, and then one of them had a kid.
Right, that's right.
And then us. So I think it was 7 in total. So again, we walk up to the beach. They let us know, all right, you're going to have to take off any jewelry if you haven't already, which they were very clear about beforehand. They said you cannot bring your phones in, basically making sure for, the 4th or 5th time that we were not going to be bringing anything into the water that could potentially hurt any of their animals.
Right.
So,
or take free pictures. Did I say that?
Well, here's the thing. Had we had somebody with us, they could have taken pictures from outside of the beach.
Right.
They just didn't want a dolphin, stealing our cell phone and
Making calls. International calls to their buddies out
going
in the
live on
Atlantic
Instagram.
Roaming charges.
Roaming charges. Oh my goodness. Just they don't want anything to happen to the animals, and the dolphins have very big mouths, so a cell phone is much smaller than the fish that they eat.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Again, everything's just for animal safety. But so I want to hear your experience from what we hit that beach and we realized it is time.
It was really cool. That was the first time I'd ever done anything like that. I had been close to a dolphin before. I had thrown fish into a dolphin's mouth prior to this, but I had never been in the water, nor have I ever touched a dolphin. So that was a really super cool, unique experience. And if you're even on the fence about doing this, do it. It's like a $35 add-on to your package. It's nonsensical to not do it.
Prices do fluctuate.
Right. But it's the starting prices we talked about. It was a $35 difference. It is a no-brainer. It's not a $100 add-on, a $200 add-on. It's a $35 add-on. And when you're spending that money already, do the whole damn thing. Do the dolphin experience, because it was a really, really cool thing to do. At least do it once, for sure.
So what happened in the water?
So there was it was a training session. Is that
a training session, yeah.
So like a training session where you'd have the trainer there, and they would have the dolphin kind of, first of all, they swam kind of slowly by us, so you could put your hand on the dolphin to see what he or she felt like. And you just kind of glided your hand across her back as she swam by you. Made sure that you don't touch the face or the blowhole, but you just kind of rubbed it along the back, and it felt like a really smooth, like rubbery something. I don't know. I can't describe it, but it was a very unique experience for that. And then they actually did something that I didn't think we were going to be able to do, which was really cool. Is they actually had one person, or one by one, you'd walk about 30 or 40 feet through the water towards the trainer. They would do something to get the dolphin to come over. The dolphin would come in there, and they would stop, and then you would get into the water. You grabbed is it the dorsal fin, the top one?
Yeah, so the dorsal fin and the flipper.
And the flipper on one side. You were not supposed to like kick your feet or anything like that. And they literally had the dolphin swim with you for about 40 or 50 feet back to your group. And what a cool experience that was.
Yeah. Uh, so when it comes to I was just trying to look up the dolphin body part because now I'm like, is it a fin or is it a flipper? Dolphin,
Either way,
dolphin arms. Is it a? It's gonna bother me though.
It doesn't matter that much.
Well, it does. It's the dorsal fin, and anyway, my whole point is, yes, you were able to grab
Swim
onto
with
the dolphin, and with a couple strong pumps of its tail, it got you to the other side of the pool. It was
Right.
like nothing to them.
It's so cool to just kind of like magically glide across the pool and not have to do anything. And there's a freaking dolphin that's dragging you there. It was so cool. I would love to do that again if we go back to Discovery Cove for sure.
So the coolest thing about getting to experience these training sessions is, first off, I was really excited to see you do this.
Yeah, because you've done it before, right?
I have, yeah. I've met many dolphins. So,
Okay.
but I say that like with a lot of gratefulness because I grew up at SeaWorld San Antonio. One of my very first memories is being in kindergarten and basically like rubbing a dolphin's belly, and just getting to play with them. And there are just so many memories that I'm very grateful to have, and it never gets old. I will tell you, I could do that every day and I would never get tired of it. But when it comes to training sessions, these dolphins learn these behaviors and it helps keep their brains active. It's enriching for them to meet new people and to be able to participate in these training sessions. And whether you know this or not, I'm just going to let you know, whether or not they decide to participate in a training session does not matter. They will always get their entire amount of food. So if one day a dolphin goes, you know what? I don't want to do this today. I'm just not going to participate. The only thing that trainers ever do is ask them. And if not, they'll get their food a little bit later, after the training session. So the relationships between the trainers and the dolphins are so special and so cool. One other thing that we got to do is one by one, they actually had us come up and feel each dolphin's tail fluke.
That's right.
And so you could feel how muscular and strong they were. I think you did a great description of what we got to experience during the dolphin interaction. We got to ask lots of questions. Each trainer did different behaviors with the dolphins for us to get to see from further away or right up close. And then at the very end, we got to experience getting a chance for each of us to go and take photos with these dolphins.
Yeah, so Danny and I actually got to take photos together and then photos separately. So for those of you watching on YouTube, take a look at the screen here. Those are our group photos there, so you can see one with the full-length body shot of the dolphin, and then the more closer one of the two of us next to the dolphin there. And then the next slide here is our solo photos with me getting a kiss from the dolphin, as is Danny as well. It was really cool. They actually told you to put your hands on the top, just under the surface of the water, so the dolphin could kind of place its mouth, I guess, or jaw on your palms, and then we just leaned our head in, and it was like a little kiss. It was awesome.
How cute!
Isn't that cool?
And the thing that the dolphins learn is they learn how to exactly put their face exactly right here.
Yeah.
And then if you had been able to take a video, you would have been able to see, like, the trainers using their whistles and say, letting them know, hey, that's what we asked you to do. Awesome. But it was so cool. The dolphins might have been having more fun than we were.
They were very playful.
Also, I did just double check just for my knowledge. Their arms are called pectoral fins.
Oh.
Are also called flippers.
Okay.
So when I was saying fin or flipper,
you were
that's
right
why
both
my brain
times.
broke. It's been a while since I looked up any animal information.
Good job.
But I will say that the amount of time that we were in the water with the dolphins was a decent amount of time.
It was.
I didn't feel rushed. I
didn't feel like I overpaid for that package
no.
by any means.
And the thing is, people pay hundreds of dollars to get in the water with
Correct.
dolphins.
Correct.
Because it's a really cool and, very unique
experience.
and sometimes once in a lifetime. And overall, I can't say enough good things about how kind and patient the trainers were. If somebody kind of stepped where they shouldn't, like we had a kid who was trying to step in front of their mom, they were so kind to be like, hey, do you mind, stepping between your parents, and always being patient and understanding that like some of us were experiencing this for the first time.
Right.
And just allowing people to take it in. And I can't say enough good things about the experience that the trainers gave us. And
it was awesome.
Like I said, it doesn't matter how many times I've met a dolphin. It's never old. What are your thoughts just on the dolphin part of the experience?
On the dolphin
experience?
experience?
Just the dolphin experience.
I would definitely do it again. It was such a cool experience being able to swim with a dolphin, hold on to a real live mammal that is swimming through the water. That's something that you only see in videos somewhere. And to get to experience that in person was super cool. And getting to be literal inches from a dolphin and just hang out in the water with the dolphin and not just watch it from afar like the Dolphin Days show at SeaWorld, which is also amazing.
Right.
But being able to be in the water with them was, I wouldn't say a once-in-a-lifetime experience because I'll definitely do it again, but it was something that everyone should get to experience at least once.
Did you find that the dolphins were bigger and stronger than you thought they were going to be?
I don't think bigger.
You really?
No, but I definitely stronger. I knew they weren't small. I had seen dolphins up close before, but I guess he or she was maybe a little bit longer than I thought they would be, but about the same, size width-wise that I thought it would be.
So it's funny that you're saying that because I grew up only being able to see like inside the pool at the dolphins,
Mm-hmm.
and you would see them when they kind of like jumped out. Where since we moved here, you've been able to see underwater interactions at
True.
Discovery Cove, Disney, and really been able to get up close to them. And because when I first saw them, like their entire bodies, I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
y'all are way bigger than I thought. Your cute little faces are normally peeking up over the water. But how about the strength of them just being able to pull you like nothing?
Don't mess with wild animals, man. Like they're all stronger than us. Don't do it.
I mean, you shouldn't.
It's impressive.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal anyway.
Right.
But
just wild animals in general. Don't mess with them.
Yeah.
They're stronger than all of us.
But overall, that was an amazing experience. It was awesome for me to see you get to experience that for the first time. That was really, really special for me personally. Because, I love you and I love animal things. So
after all this time.
After all this time.
Wow. I feel loved.
Well, you should. And because you are loved.
Thank you.
Well, after we did our dolphin experience, do we want to talk about the next thing we did?
The photos?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
All right. So I want you to take over with that.
For sure. So none of the packages include any sort of photo experience when you go to Discovery Cove. And to me, to be totally honest, as a paying customer, I found that a little disappointing. The photo experience, I have some thoughts, and there's basically 4 packages that you can purchase for your photos after the dolphin swim, and there's expensive to extremely expensive, anywhere between $109 all the way up to $254. Depending on what you get, you're getting framed photos, and there's like a metal sheet photo that you get with the top one. But the one that we ended up going for was called the Island Photo Package. And what was included in the Island Photo Package? It was 4 6x8 photos, 4 in an envelope like this here. It says Discovery Cove on it. And we basically got 4 printed photos of our dolphin interaction, as you can see, and I scanned them onto the computer so you could see them on the screen there. But that was our photo package, and that base price was $109 for 4 printed out photos with no digital copies of those photos. That for me was kind of disappointing. I don't know how in 2023 that we're doing any sort of photo package without a digital option as well. We would have had to upgrade to the next photo package, which was at $179 to get any digital copies. And so for me, that price point was very disappointing. However, we did get to use our annual pass discount of 30%. So it brought it down to about $70 for the 4 photos. And we're not going to not get dolphin photos for my first experience swimming with dolphins. So we bit the bullet. We did it. But I really wish it wasn't that expensive, to be honest with you.
I totally agree. I was a little shocked at the price of the digital package. But I hate to say it is the way it is.
Doesn't have to be, but it is.
That's just the price.
Sure.
Of
that's the price they made.
And
but
we'd like to see that change because we would definitely have paid more money if they had additional photo opportunities and if we had gotten like all of the digital copies.
And I do want to kind of reemphasize the fact that we did not get hosted for this day at Discovery Cove. We paid for our package. We paid for our upgrade for the alcohol. We paid for the dolphin package. We paid for the photo package. Not any of this was complimentary to us. So as paying customers, I do think we reserve the right to voice our opinions.
I mean, even one thing I just also want to note is even when we do get hosted, we're always going to be honest with you guys.
Right,
but this is something that like when it was literally coming out of our own pockets, it hurt a little bit more. Even though we got the smallest package for the photos. But I'm glad we got them.
Yeah, no, I'm happy we have the photos.
We're going to frame them and put them somewhere because it was really special for us to do together. And
for those of you watching on YouTube, I'll just show you the photos one more time while Danny's talking here.
There's, first off, Bill is showing the photos that we chose. So we got to choose 4 different ones. They didn't say, like, you only get these.
Yeah, there was like 25 photos or so that they took.
And
but
they were
we chose
all pretty
4.
good.
Yeah.
And we chose one of each of us getting a smooch by a dolphin. And then we got the close-up of us next to the dolphin, striking, I want to say striking a pose, with his head and his tail out of the water, and us together next to him. So we went with that. Just those seem to be the best ones. But, yeah, after that, the whole day was open to us.
Yeah, we were able to do whatever we wanted to do.
Now, one thing that we did decide to do right off the bat is we went ahead and we decided, you don't have to do this, you can wait till the end of the day, but we actually went to the front of the park and picked up and paid for our photos to go back and put them in the locker so we wouldn't have to potentially jump in a line at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. I think that was the right call.
I think that was the right call, too. You don't have to do that. You can definitely wait at the end of the day. It's definitely not something that you need to do at that moment, but that's just the call we made. So once we had paid our shocking sticker price and brought our photos, I felt like I was carrying gold all the way back to the lockers.
Yeah, right.
We dropped them off. Guess what time it was?
Drinking time.
It was drinking time. It was time to finally get a drink.
The park itself opened at 9 and the bar opened at 11. So by the time we were done with our dolphin swim, I think it was like 10:20 or 10:25, something like that. It was time to go.
Yeah.
Ready to hit the bar.
So again, we took an Uber or a Lyft, I don't remember which one, and we decided we were going to make the most of this. On top of that, again, we didn't want to drink beer all day. So the first thing we did is we headed over to the bar, and there was a drink that we were so excited to try.
Mm-hmm.
And do you happen to remember what the drink was?
I don't remember the name of it.
Well, lucky for you.
You have it?
I have our signature drinks right here available at Discovery Cove. Now, we're not going to go through all the drinks. They could change. You yourself could want something different. And, of course, the The drink package is not loading on my end, unfortunately.
It's not loading on mine. I guess we don't have it.
Just kidding. We don't have it.
Let me search for it while you're talking.
So what we decided to do was, first off, we wanted to try one of their signature drinks. And one thing we saw on the sign was a drink that was a blueberry cocktail that had fresh blueberries in it. Did the website...
It looks like their website might be down.
Oh, they're upgrading their website right now while we're recording. They know that they have to get ready for all of the influx of people who are going to want to go visit. This is happening in real time, people. Here's the thing. We were able to walk up, and we didn't know how this worked. We walked up. We had our lanyards on. We walked right over to the bartender, and we said, we would like these drinks. What they did was they took a little, it's not a stapler. They popped a little hole in our
hole puncher.
Hole puncher, thank you. But it was shaped like a cocktail.
Nice.
And what they did, the reason they did that, from my understanding, was so that they knew that had been cashed out.
Right.
So at the end of the day, people can't go by and go, I never got my drinks.
Right.
Give me a refund.
Somebody got at least one drink with this card.
Yes, exactly. So as long as you got at least one, you used
You used it.
You used your premium drink package. So we went over and we grabbed a drink and we sat on these amazing seats that were swings.
Yeah, they were swings that hung from the top of the ceiling of the bar and dangled down like as if they were bar stools. So you actually got to like sit and kind of like swing back and forth.
Yes.
It was really neat. It was really cool.
And it looks like did you find it?
I found one of the menus. I don't know. I don't remember if it's the one that we were looking at, but some other website had a PDF of the menu. Was it the Aloha Sunrise?
Nope.
Was it the Paradise Breeze?
Nope.
Was it the Serenity Bay Sunset?
Nope. It had the word blueberry in it.
Okay. So yeah, then it's not that one.
That's okay. Here's the thing. As you can tell just from Bill reading those, there are a lot of yummy signature.
Yeah.
So, those are available all over the resort. So after we grabbed a drink, we decided that it was time to go explore. And I do want to talk about, kind of go into our experience at each of the other areas that Discovery Cove has available personally, just because even though we described them earlier, we don't really get to give a really good example of what it was.
And by the way, the drink, the menu, the website is back up.
That was quick.
Magical. The Blueberry Splash is the one that you were talking about, and it had Tito's vodka with a splash of blueberry puree topped with lemonade and Sprite.
So I ordered mine with no Sprite, and Bill ordered his as is because I'm difficult always.
Always.
And so it was really nice. The bartenders were great because you would walk up and they'd be like, same thing, and they'd already just be able to pour you your drinks. Like the bartenders were amazing. But again, you could get drinks anywhere, all over property, anywhere where there was a bar, as long as you had your lanyard on you.
Right.
So after we had been able to enjoy some drinks, I'm trying to think what we did next, because the whole day we were just, after that we got to wander.
We didn't really plan anything. We just kind of wandered around. Was that when we went into the aviary?
You know what I think we did next?
What was that?
I think we went into the Grand Reef next, because we went in twice.
Okay. Yep.
So I think we got to, enjoy our drinks, plural. And then we made our way over to the Grand Reef. Now, one of the cool things about Discovery Cove that I don't remember seeing on the website is they do give you a snorkel and like mask, but they don't tell you that you get to bring the snorkel home with you.
Yeah, it's yours. They're not gonna, recycle snorkels for other folks to suck on. It's just
yuck.
Yeah, it sounds gross when you think about it. I never thought that you'd be able to bring anything like that home. I thought it would just sanitize it or something, but that was kind of a cool touch too.
Yeah, so we walked over and got those, and then we went into the Grand Reef. Now, the Grand Reef is something that you could probably pay the price of admission that we did just for this experience alone. The Grand Reef had tons of these gorgeous tropical fish. There were stingrays just swimming all around you. You could see sharks over the ledge, so you could look down and see sharks, and everything was just the most chill vibe. So we popped on our snorkels
And our wetsuits.
and we were already in our wetsuits.
But you have to wear a wetsuit in the reef. They literally said to some people that weren't wearing them that they had to go put one on.
Okay. I wonder why.
I don't know.
We didn't ask. But we grabbed
what a cool experience.
We grabbed our snorkels and our masks. There were papers that were waterproof that you could actually bring into the water if you wanted to be able to look at fish.
Find a fish.
Yeah, basically like, oh, which one is this? This is called this. Cool. To be able to match what you were seeing in front of you. But what we ended up doing was just enjoying our time snorkeling in there.
Yeah.
So this was kind of similar to when I worked at Aquatica. I think it is the coolest thing to be able to do this. It's so relaxing. It's literally like being transported to a tropical island, but right in our backyard. What did you think about the Grand Reef?
What a unique, super cool experience. I've never done anything like that in my life. I've swam a million times in my life. I've put on a snorkel. I've put on goggles. I've done all that stuff. But when you go in there and all around you, there's just thousands of tropical fish and these gigantic stingrays swimming throughout the water, and then some other ray, I don't remember what they're called, the other rays that were just kind of like slithering on the bottom of the reef. Just this gigantic pool full of amazingly beautiful animals, and you're just kind of floating along above them, beside them. I would say underneath them. But,
I mean, you could.
you could, but it was. It felt like you had your own little area of the ocean.
Yeah.
And it was just something that I had never thought about experiencing before, but it was so peaceful and so cool to see all of those sea creatures just moving around me. And I got some really cool footage on my phone. We didn't do a lot of filming that day. We weren't intending to do a video. We were going to enjoy our anniversary. But we did bring the phone, the waterproof phone cases in during some of the swim in the reef. So if we can find that footage, maybe we'll start posting that some stuff.
Oh, yeah. We can definitely take a look and see what we'd like to share from that. But I loved being in the Grand Reef. One thing that I know you weren't a super fan of, and I totally get why you weren't, was getting up close and personal and snuggly with the stingrays.
Yeah, nope. I don't like it.
So, and that's okay.
They wig me out, man. When they like glide on you and like do that thing, it's like, oh, it wigs me out so much.
So I worked with stingrays for a long time, and they're like sea kittens to me. So I really miss getting to work with them. So getting to be around a bunch of stingrays that like enjoy being around people was something that I had missed. And especially if you're somebody who wants to experience getting up close and personal to stingrays, that's a great time to do it, because you can just stand in there all day and let them come up to you, and they'll just kind of slide by, and, you know, little fin will pass by you. But again, there are different things for everybody, but it's a really cool experience and absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, super cool.
Now, I just kind of want to touch on, before we talk about the other areas that we explored, we got to go back and visit the bar multiple times whenever we wanted.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. But one other thing that we got to do, and just because I don't know the order, I don't remember the order that we did it in, is we also got to go and get lunch, which had, multiple hours that you could go have lunch.
And it was the same place we went and got breakfast earlier. They just kind of swapped the food out. That's where we went for lunch.
But I will say that the food was really good for lunch.
It was, yeah. It was much better than the breakfast. The breakfast was solid, but the lunch was really good.
And I was actually sad, but because I wanted to go back and have, I think it was like a black pepper steak or something like that. That was amazing. And some kind of yellow rice. I was loving that.
Living the dream.
Yes. But we didn't get to go back. But the food at lunch was amazing. You can go and check that out whenever you want. There's also snacks everywhere. You could walk up to the bars and they would have warm cookies, bags of chips, pretzels, popcorn.
There was a pizza station.
That's the one I was going to say. One of my favorite things for a snack was a little pizza station where you would walk up and say, "Can I get 2 little slices of pepperoni?" And they'd give you a slice of pepperoni, maybe like the size of your hand.
Yeah.
Maybe like a small hand.
For those of you who have ever been on a Royal Caribbean cruise, think of Sorrentos. You just walk up and tell them how many slices you want, but they're about the same size. Probably, it's that big, I would imagine. Probably like a 12-inch pizza cut into 8.
Yeah, something like that. But you could say like, "Oh, I want 2 or 3." Like you didn't have to just like get one. You could, if you were feeling hungry, you could ask for a couple of them.
Right.
And they had different options. So throughout the day, we were able to walk up to any bar we wanted, get a drink. We were able to walk up to any snack stand and get food whenever we wanted. And there was also things like slushies, ice cream. There were different sodas, water, you name it. Everything was available to you that you could basically want.
Yeah. The only thing that we had to upgrade anything for was for the non-beer and wine alcohol package.
Yeah.
Where you got the signature drinks or the full bar service or margaritas, things like that. That was the only thing we had to upgrade for. Other than that, all the food, snacks, drinks, everything else was included. It was nice.
Yeah. And I just wanted to mention that just because I don't remember the order that it was in. I feel like after we started getting those blueberry splashes.
Boy, that pizza bar came in handy at the end of the day.
It really did. It was so good. But a couple other places that we wanted to talk about that we kind of explored as the hours went on that we weren't sure where to go. We were just taking us where Discovery Cove was leading us.
Yeah.
And one of the other places that we got to go to was the freshwater oasis experience. So I will say I don't remember seeing marmosets.
I don't even know what that is.
They're a mammal.
Okay.
And they're kind of like, I feel like they're like they're in the trees and on bridges and stuff. So they swing up
Are they
there.
little monkeys?
I don't think they're monkeys, but they're mammals.
Okay.
I've never worked with marmosets, so I don't really know enough about them. But we did go into a wading pool and go in where you could see the otters and all the fish.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And the fun thing was you got a little floaty and you could go and just like float in the water and the otters would come up to the glass and they were just playing and having the best time. What did you think of that little area?
That was super cool. It was just almost like a little cave that we went in there and we're on one of the little pool noodles that was in there. And just seeing those guys up close is so cool. And being in the water, obviously there was glass separating us, like Danny said, but being super close to those guys while in the water and feeling the sensation of water while you're hanging out with water animals was awesome. It was a cool little spot we stumbled upon.
And there were a bunch of them just playing, having the best time. Yeah. In the
PB
app,
and J were there.
PB&J Otter, yeah. I also wanted to say that there is a Discovery Cove app that you can download and use.
What?
I will say we didn't really utilize it as much as we could have.
We didn't have our phone on us that much.
I'm going to blame the blueberry. Yeah, that's how it felt that day. The blueberry splashes. But we didn't really utilize it. But if you do look in the app, you can see what time different enrichment and training sessions are happening in there. So you can actually be in the water and watch them like do things in their exhibit, which is really, really cool. So we hung out there for a little while. And then we were like, you know what? The otters are chilling. What else do we have to see? So we got out of the water and we made our way over to one thing I had totally forgotten about existed here, and that was the Explorer's Aviary. Now, like I've talked about before, I've got to work with lots of animals. I loved working in it with, like, in an aviary and working with these birds and being around them. I think they're incredible. But I didn't know how you were going to feel about this.
I didn't know how I was going to feel about this.
But
I ended up loving it.
So first off, before we kind of jump into that, the aviary, the way it's built is there are different rooms that you walk through, and each room is separated by some kind of door that will basically keep birds separated in their enclosure. So for whatever reason, whether it's, these species are in here, we know like that these birds might not interact as well with these kind of birds. For whatever reason, they have their aviary set up with multiple rooms. And throughout the aviary, there are all of these, like, they remind me of like little ice cream, like if you had like the
Like
ice cream
carts,
man, like a
like
cart,
refrigerated
with a
carts.
refrigerated cart.
Yeah.
And they would just hand you a little bowl and keep refilling your food to feed the birds.
As much as you wanted to.
And that could cost you like
A lot.
I don't know, $5 to $8 each time you do that.
Yep.
If you go to like a zoo or any place like that. So it was very chill. You could hang out in there as much as you wanted, and there were birds everywhere. And I want you to talk about what you thought about the aviary and what it was like for you.
What a cool experience that was. And I am admittedly not a huge animal person, especially birds. And so I didn't think I was going to enjoy this part of it, but this ended up honestly probably being my favorite part of the whole day.
Wow.
I loved the interaction with the birds, and literally what Danny was saying, you would scoop this like food mix stuff that was prepared for them by the staff at Discovery Cove into this little plastic white bowl that was probably like the size of the hole. There we go. The hole in my hand there. And
it was like the size of when you go to a restaurant and you get like a side of ketchup.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so you would literally just get the food from the person, and then you could just walk over to birds that were hanging out on a branch or birds that were hanging out on hold the bowl of food up above your head or next to you, and all of a sudden some of these birds would just start jumping down and like landing on your head or landing on your shoulder, landing on your arm, and like slowly walking up towards the food, eating the food, and then peacing out afterwards. And it was such a cool experience to have 3 or 4 birds like standing on your arms and your head while this was happening. We had a really fun couple of videos from inside the aviary that we'll also post at some point. But I loved it. I thought that was super cool. I could have stayed in there for hours just hanging out with those birds and just keep feeding them until they burst. Just
they probably wouldn't have minded that either.
Have all the food. Come get me. The chef is here,
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I thought it was so much fun. I loved seeing you enjoy that part because anytime I'm like, I love birds, you're like, birds are birds.
Yeah.
And getting to watch you enjoy interacting with them and just seeing how cool they are, and seeing how their little personalities came out whenever they came up to you. So some of the birds are just so smart. As soon as they saw you come in with that, little thing of bird food, which was usually like like a type of bird food that usually gets like soaked in like water and then different fruits and vegetables. A lot of them will have stuff that they specifically like. So there were birds that in one room that would come up to us and specifically look for melon, raspberries, and grapes.
Yeah.
So they were like really wanted the fruit. And it was funny because they would like reach in and pick up something, and if they didn't like it, they'd just like fling it at you. They'd be like, no, trash. I don't want that. I could have spent hours in there with you. It was just so much fun. And they're so chill and just so gorgeous, and
so many different kinds too.
It's hard to like have a bad time. It's almost like I wish that was a type of therapy that I could go to every week.
Yes.
Like
I would do that.
Because how cool would that be if that was like, you know what? I need to like recenter myself with the earth. How about getting to go and interact with hundreds of birds? Honestly, I wish we had spent more time in there, but there was a whole there were so many other things for us to see and experience. But I would like to say that I think we spent more time in there than we thought we were going to.
Oh, way more.
And we had an amazing time in there together.
Then what happened to you in there?
I got very lucky.
What does that mean?
I had a bird take a very large poo directly onto my braided head. I had two.
And your backpack.
Did I have a backpack?
Yeah.
I don't think I had a backpack.
When did you get bird poop on your blue backpack?
That was later on after I was washing myself. And I had like picked up my backpack, and
Got
so
it.
there was
That's
a backpack.
right.
The
That's
backpack I
right.
brought that day when I went to take it off, take my backpack off, I must have gotten it on there, or there was bird poop on the ground.
Yeah,
Who knows?
That makes sense. You wouldn't have your backpack in the aviary.
Yeah, but there was bird poop on my backpack. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But it got all in my hair. It got like all down my wetsuit, and
Love that.
it was funny because like I just felt it, and I was like, "Did something poop on me?" And you were like, no, you did get pooped on. But honestly, that's just what happens when you work around birds.
Yeah.
So,
But the aviary was awesome.
yeah, the aviary was amazing. Afterwards, we left and I got to go rinse my poop head off in one of the
That complimentary
outside
shampoo,
showers.
baby.
Yeah, hey, they did say you get complimentary shampoo.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe it made my hair.
Did it sham the poo away?
It did all of the poo. But yeah, it was really easy to wash off. It's not that big of a deal. I was going to shower at the end of the day anyway.
Yeah.
So, and then after exploring a little bit more during the day, at one point we got to sit in a pool and bring in some drinks and just hang out and snog and, talk and hang out together. Not snog bad, just little snogs.
Sitting on the bottom of a pool while holding a drink in your hand is 10 out of 10 recommend.
Yes.
It's a great feeling, a great experience. And that's kind of how we pretty much closed our day at Discovery Cove.
Yeah, well, almost.
For the most part.
The last thing that I really wanted to do is we grabbed one more drink.
Yep.
And we still had a little bit of time, and we booked it all the way to the Grand Reef, so I could take one more snorkel in there because I was obsessed with doing that. I thought that was so much fun. I probably would have gone back into the aviary if we hadn't just left there, not that long ago.
Yeah.
But got to do one last snorkel in there. They had us out right at 5.
This guy took a cat nap during that.
I don't blame you.
About 20 minutes. I was
Those blueberry splashes.
Oh yeah.
But I went in and I took some videos and watched all the animals and watched the fish. And as soon as they said, "Hey, all right, closing time, people," we gathered our things and made our way to our respective locker rooms, I guess.
Yep.
So I think this was the part where I got bird poop on my backpack.
Got it.
I think I
Okay.
pulled my backpack out and put it on the ground, and a bird had like gone by and left a present. So that's so funny that you remembered that. I forgot about that. But we grabbed our stuff and we were able to go into our the facilities to be able to shower, change into dry clothes, which we had been in wet clothes the entire day. They made it so easy to be able to grab towels. Shampoo, conditioner, body wash was all in the stalls.
Yeah.
And so you didn't have to worry about any of that. And I thought it was really easy and was really nice to not have to go home like covered in
Whatever, bird poop.
or any kind of water that we
Yeah.
had. We had salt water, we had fresh water, we probably had some sort of chlorine, all of that all over us.
Yeah.
What was your experience with kind of closing out the day with the facilities that they had there?
It was great. It was super easy. There was tons of towels. There was places to throw them when you were done. The showers were nice. The water pressure was pretty solid. Shampoo, body wash, all that stuff, like Danny was saying, it was available to you. Gigantic mirrors if you needed to get changed and whatnot. The locker rooms were never packed, so you never really felt like you were in like a Planet Fitness or anything like that.
Well, maybe you didn't.
Oh, was yours crazy?
Mine.
Because
So
there was like 3 people in there when I was in there.
Oh, I had to wait for a shower.
Maybe because us men get ready faster.
You men walked into the underwater and, stood under there for 4 seconds and then we're like,
that's all you need.
all done.
That's it.
Well,
Unless you get poop in your hair.
Yeah, I made sure I took a little bit of extra sham to get all the poo out.
Right.
But yeah, it took a couple minutes, but there were enough showers where I didn't have to wait for very long.
Right.
But there were definitely more than 3 people where I was.
And the lockers were great. They were huge lockers. Like you could fit a lot of stuff in there if you wanted to. Probably 2 or 3 people could share a locker if they really wanted to, but there's no sense in doing that because they're complimentary. But the facilities themselves were great. They were easy to use. I got no complaints.
Well, at the end of the day, we got to, get clean, dry off, get into dry clothes, which, I mean, you should bring. You don't have to. You can bring your old clothes, but we had, a nice change of clothes that we brought with us. And then after that, we had a couple minutes where we got to pick up some merch. Me,
including
specifically, the one I'm wearing. It says Discovery Cove. And then I got a hat, I think. I think that's all I got.
Yeah.
But
I didn't get anything that day. There wasn't anything that really jumped out at me, but I really like that sweatshirt on you.
Thank you. I love this sweatshirt. It's so comfy. And I wanted something because I had wanted to go to Discovery Cove since when I got hired at SeaWorld, and I never knew when I was going to be able to. And how special was it to get to do that for our 7-year anniversary?
Yeah, and for the Blue Friday deal that we got, I was very excited about that.
Yes. We were totally excited. Before we kind of give our final thoughts, a couple things I just want to mention very briefly is first off, there are additional packages, add-on things that you can do while you are here.
There's ways to spend more money?
There's lots of ways to spend more money. Okay. So let's go back and forth and let's just kind of name them very quickly so that people have an idea of what else you can do.
Yeah. So one of the things that you guys can do, there are cabana packages and daybed rentals. All cabanas accommodate 6 to 8 guests comfortably. There's a private cabana, starts at $2.99. There's towel service, a snack basket, and a mini fridge. There is an elite cabana package starting at $5.99, which is a personalized buoy delivery during your signature dolphin swim. What does that mean?
So a buoy is the thing that they hold in their mouths. Like a buoy, like a water buoy.
But is it like something you take home?
I'm pretty sure you can take it home.
That's pretty cool.
So, but I will say you also have to pay for the dolphin swim. So,
got it.
Like if you're going to get a buoy delivered by a dolphin, you have to be doing the swim.
Got it. Okay. I thought when I read that, I thought it was like a buoy got delivered to your cabana.
No.
Like by somebody. That was like a commemorative thing.
No. So it's with the dolphin swim.
That's pretty cool. And then that also includes a digital photo package, which makes that a little bit better of a deal. You want to go to the next one?
Yeah, and then you can also get the VIP cabana package, which includes everything that you just named: towels, snacks, mini fridge, personalized buoy delivered during your signature dolphin swim, the digital photo package, as well as a dedicated VIP cabana host, an exclusive animal encounter, a reserved seating at the restaurant Laguna Grill, and guaranteed dolphin lagoon view, so you can always watch the dolphins throughout the day. And that started at $8.99. So you can get private cabanas from about $300 to about $900 starting prices. So if you're looking for something for between it can accommodate 6 to 8 guests,
right?
You could just have 2 people. That's something that is definitely available. There are also day beds. So we saw day beds everywhere. Basically, they're just comfy beds along the beaches in the water. It can fit up to 2 adults comfortably. And for larger parties, you do have to talk to them so that they can make sure that you guys are all together.
Right.
So that starts at $99, and that can fit up to 2 people.
That's cool.
So that's available if you want something that isn't just grabbing like a, lounge, like furniture wherever you want.
A little late chaise lounge
yeah,
somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So that's yours throughout the whole day
Yeah.
if you pay for that.
There's also other animal experiences you can add on as well, and outside of the dolphin experience that we purchased as part of our prepaid ticket. There's a really cool experience called Sea Venture, which starts at $49, and you're basically walking on the bottom of the pool where you are with one of those big dive helmets that you can picture in your head. I know you can.
Yeah, everybody can.
Where you feel right at home at the bottom of the sea, and you're literally just walking on the reef floor, coming eye to eye with sharks and other unique animals, schools of fish, velvety rays. You can touch the animals. And then 5% of the proceeds go to Rising Tide Conservation, a nonprofit dedicated to the protection of coral reefs through sustainable aquaculture.
Yeah, and I've heard that that's kind of like walking on the moon, but underwater is what I've heard people describe it as. They also tend to have those on cruises and on other tropical vacations, but it's kind of cool that you can do that right there.
For sure.
You can also swim with sharks. That starts at $169. The up-close interactions have over 20 sharks. You get an intimate shark training session with Discovery Cove's expert aquarist. And you will don a snorkel and a mask to enjoy a deep water free swim alongside black tip reef sharks, nurse sharks, zebra sharks, and bonnet head sharks. And just like the previous one, 5% of the proceeds support the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation, and that's foundation conducts. There we go.
There you go.
Conducts scientific
Reading is
research.
hard.
Reading is hard. Conducts scientific research and hosts educational programs aimed at conserving the marine environment. So meaning those two separately also help support two separate organizations that help support wildlife all over the world. So how cool is that?
Another add-on you can do is called the Animal Trek, and that starts at $89, and it's basically a 30-minute tour off the public pathway, so a lot of kind of behind-the-scenes type stuff, alongside ambassadors to experience up-close birds and small mammal encounters. A variety of species, including macaws, rescued screech owl, anteaters, armadillos, kinkajous, sloths, and more.
Next, we have a flamingo mingle, which
Say
is
that
fun
10
to
times
say.
fast.
And that starts at $59. You meet and mingle with the Caribbean flamingos.
A flamboyance
the
of
flamboyants,
flamingos?
yes. And then also the expert aviculturists are there to answer questions and, help you to learn about the animals that you're meeting.
The ray feeding starts at $59, and you can join expert aquarists early in the morning to help feed our various species of rays and thousands of beautiful tropical fish in their morning meal in the Grand Reef.
It does say this on the website. Just to note that if anything says early in the morning feed, they do recommend you get there like the earliest you can get there to make sure that you get that booked and you're there on time.
I think you could get there. I believe it was open 9 to 5, but I'm pretty sure you can get there at like 7:30.
I think you're right.
If I remember right.
Yeah, so get there nice and early. Now, here are going to be the big ticket items.
Ka-ching.
So let's just say you're like, this sounds awesome, but I want an even more personalized experience. Well, one thing you can do is you can become a trainer for a day. Now, this price starts at $199. I do want to let you know that any of these add-ons are like on top of your daily admission. So you have to purchase your daily admission. This is an additional add-on. So this is something special. So this does not include admission.
Right.
Same for all the ones we just said and the ones that come after it. Just across the board. Does not include admission. Become a trainer for a day. Alongside a Discovery Cove trainer, you have a small group of no more than 8 people. You get a second enhanced interaction with dolphins, including a private photo session with 2 dolphins. So that is if you buy the dolphin swim. You get a second enhanced swim with them. An exclusive behind-the-scenes experience at Discovery Cove. So kind of with one of the other tours, it's similar to that. You get meet and greets with tropical birds and small mammals. You get to visit the aviary with the trainer as your private guide. The opportunity to feed the fish in the Grand Reef and a session with a Discovery Cove aquarist. A private session at the otter habitat in the freshwater oasis. And there are different things that you can't combine with trainer for a day. And it just notes that trainer for a day must be booked in addition to a Discovery Cove dolphin swim admission package. So because you do get those 2 interactions.
That sounds pretty cool.
And then here's the biggest package that I don't even know existed until I read this. Do you want to go through that?
Yeah, it is the ultimate VIP experience. Starting at $18.99, not $18.99. That's $1,899. And it's up to 8 people. Pre-arrival planning through VIP concierge hotline with a planned customized itinerary, valet parking, expedited entry. You get to skip the lines. I love that. Exclusive animal meet and greets upon arrival. You walk in and there's animals waiting for you saying, hey, welcome to Discovery Cove. VIP cabana stocked with snacks, bottled drinks, and more. A VIP photographer to capture all your special moments. Breakfast served tableside.
So
you don't
basically,
even
they bring it to you.
You don't even have to get up. You get the VIP. You get the breakfast brought to you. It's like breakfast in bed. It's amazing. Lunch at Laguna Grill with table service and upgraded menu offering. VIP exploration of our habitats with your own professional zoological staff member. And then you can also hand feed at Explorer's Aviary, Flamingo Meet and Greet, and then snorkel with sharks. When purchasing along with a signature dolphin swim, you will also receive that personalized buoy delivery.
Which they say is worth $179, according to the website.
Nice. And then complimentary upgrade to the premium drink package, which is the one that we upgraded to for $40.
So if you have 8 people right there,
that's a $320 value.
There you go.
Math is easy. And then there's the complimentary digital photo package to share your memories with family and friends, which is also a tremendous value.
So that's $300 for the photo package.
Yeah.
And then, well, technically it's $50 for the drink package. So how much would that be for 8?
$400.
So right there, that is 3 plus 400.
It's like $700 value right there.
Right there before you even get anything additional.
Yeah.
And
cool.
So up to 8 people, I do think that that's a really cool thing. Because that's like another $237. I think I looked it up. Dollars per person at the starting price. So if you're looking for something like,
if you're gonna do it, go all in, right?
Yeah, if you're gonna want to splurge, like that's something cool to splurge on. But again, all of those prices that we went through are the starting prices.
Yep.
You know, you have to see what's available, when you're going to go.
Exactly.
And, you know, figure out exactly what you want to do. You know, you can visit more than once.
You can be frugal or you can go all in. There's everything to that's offered at Discovery Cove.
Also, if you didn't hear anything that seemed to be right up your alley, but you want to have like a special celebration, if you call them, they do have, they will create personalized celebration packages for you as well as proposal packages that they have available. So there's all sorts of wonderful things that they can do that's personalized. But for us, you know, we did our, you know, just admission for the day with our dolphin swim, the premier drink package. We paid for photos. And what are your overall thoughts about our experience for our anniversary at Discovery Cove?
That is a great way to kind of wrap it up. Discovery Cove is perfect for an anniversary or a birthday or some sort of celebratory reason. Discovery Cove is not something that you would want to do like once a month. It's unless you can really afford it.
My face was just like, I mean, if I could afford it, I would 100% do that
I
once a
want
month.
to, but should I? Absolutely not. But it is definitely a really great spot to go celebrate something. And like we said at the beginning, it's much like going on a cruise without boarding a boat or leaving port. Everything's all inclusive. You just get to relax and chill out. And it's a great day. My only regret, I guess, was I wish the day was a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And a little bit later. I wish it wasn't super early to 5 o'clock. I wish it was like maybe 11 to 7 type of deal. You know, I wish it was open a little bit later, but maybe it is later in the year. I'm not really sure. But when we went, it was getting dark when we left around 5:30. So maybe that's a reason why it was so early. I don't really know for sure, but I wish it was a little bit later because I don't like to get up super early when I'm going to go relax. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I loved it. I had a great time. I would do it again for a special occasion and look out for those Blue Friday deals and try to get the best deal possible.
And anytime they send you an email, sometimes they'll just have
discounts.
Deals. And if you look at their calendar, you might just see like, hey, that's in my price range. It's a slower time. It's a perfect time for me to come visit.
Exactly.
I agree with you. I had an amazing time with you. It was perfect to be able to just shut off the world and do fun things that we normally don't get to do. I also think that one thing we realized was, we need to do more is do things that we don't normally get to do and try to learn how to stop and relax, because constantly going to theme parks, which we absolutely love, it's something that we are trying to learn to be able to just like kick back. Because we can do that on the couch and stuff, but a lot of times when we go out, we want to be like going and having fun and doing things. And I kind of love that we got to not do things while we were there almost. We just got to go with the flow and enjoy every minute. And even though we enjoy every minute outside, just having that relaxing aspect of it was just amazing.
We kind of just winged it the whole day. It was nice.
So we can't say enough good things about Discovery Cove. I definitely don't want that to be the only time that we get to visit. I would love to go back and to be able to bring you guys with us and film our experience. So hopefully in the future, that's something that we'll be able to do. Also, again, we highly recommend, if you're going to get those drink packages, make sure that you're driving safely, that you are either a designated driver or you're taking an Uber and a Lyft. And a pro tip, when you're leaving Discovery Cove, place an order on the Wawa app so your sandwiches are waiting at your door when you get home.
That we did do.
Because we absolutely did that, because we forgot to go back for more food later in the day.
Exactly.
And overall, this is one of those experiences that, do it, because those are memories.
Do it.
Those are memories that I think we're going to have forever. And I love that it's also opened the door for us to try new things that we've never done before together, because we do tend to kind of do the same things that we love over and over, but I love kind of adding to what we get to do.
Exactly. All right. Well, that was a good recap there. It was a lot of fun. Can't recommend it enough. It was a blast.
I think we had a whale of a time.
Wow. Nice. We're dolph finished with this episode.
Oh, that's a good one. Well, thank you all for joining us for this debut episode of Disney Magic and Beyond, presented by a couple of park hoppers. We are so excited for all the things that we have coming your way. It's going to be an amazing year for us. We're so excited to bring you guys with us and to just share every experience that we get to do, because the sky's the limit, guys.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for your support. We love you. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. If you're someplace cold, stay warm. And until next time,
we'll see you real soon.